Hello and welcome to my blog. I'd like to introduce myself and give you an idea of what you can expect in the future on my blog or on my YouTube channel. Of course, this also applies in part to my podcast, but the main focus here is on my blog. How did I even get into the topic of cybersecurity? Cybersecurity has played a very important role in the past, especially in Germany. The Bundestag was hacked, many large companies were hacked, and it was repeatedly in the media that companies were not sufficiently prepared for hacker attacks or ransomware attacks. This is especially true in Germany, but also in other European countries. And in 2017, I started my first blog in online marketing, more specifically in affiliate marketing on the topic of making money online. And I realized how difficult it is to serve this target audience, so to speak. And then in parallel, I started the SVT blog, but it was even harder to serve that target audience because the target audience expects a lot for free, and that just didn't work out. And then I thought to myself, okay, people always say, you're so good with computers, do something with IT or computers. So this July, I started my IT knowledge blog in German. And of course, it specifically targets seniors, but I wasn't completely convinced. I thought to myself, I don't really know seniors, that's not exactly what I imagine as something with the future. And then I saw a video from LearnMartel about which professions, or it doesn't even have to be professions, it could also be self-employment, won't be replaced by AI in the future. Among other things, the topic of programming your own AI models was mentioned, but that's too difficult for me. It reminded me of programming in general, software development, not just websites, which would be more like web design, but actually creating really good things like AI chatbots or specialized software. That was in first place. And in fourth or fifth place was the topic of cybersecurity. And I had already spent some time looking into it more closely over the summer and thought that would actually be the idea to start a blog on the topic or to launch an international blog or a YouTube channel. I even started working on it, but at first I was pretty skeptical and thought, wow, it's probably going to take a year or two before I can get a foothold, before I get any visitors. And it will take forever before I start ranking. And to my great surprise, this is now the third month of the cybersecurity blog. I'm getting really strong traffic, 150 visitors a day, and I thought, wow, I can't believe it. I've never managed that with any other blog before. With all my other blogs, it usually took me between 6 and 12 months for them to rank on Google. I'm also active on LinkedIn and YouTube, and I share on Facebook as well, and it's really well received, and of course, that gets me thinking too. I'm happy that the articles are being read and shared so much. Exactly. And so that was basically the path that led Ben to the topic of cybersecurity. But back in 2017, I already started looking more closely at the topic of WannaCry and thought, this is super interesting. It would be great to offer something here or have a blog about it. But at the time, I quickly dismissed the idea and refocused on the topic of making money online, especially affiliate marketing, and continued to pursue that. But now I really had the brilliant idea to start this blog and support companies to educate them on how they can take action against hackers and how they can protect themselves from hackers. Of course, this is especially relevant for ransomware, malware, and other malicious software. And for 2026, this will be particularly important, especially when it comes to AI-generated phishing emails and AI attacks. Because hackers and other cybercriminals, of course, use these AI tools to their advantage. And now I'd also like to briefly give you an overview of my products. So I'm offering you this freebie, which you can see on the landing page, that can protect you from hackers. It can protect you from cyber attacks. It's definitely free if you sign up for my newsletter. And then I also have the Tripwire, which is the cybersecurity audit guide. Audit, no audit. So a practical security check for your company, basically a mini check where I assess your current status, how strong your password security is, and how well you are set up when it comes to Microsoft 365. Whether you use Windows Defender, how secure it is, or if you might be using another antivirus program. And based on this point system, I can then give you an assessment of what you can improve. Exactly. And then, of course, I have my main product, which is also very well received and gets a lot of clicks. That's the email course I launched 2 weeks ago. This is a 14-day email course, which is currently my main product alongside the Zoom call. Of course, I also offer you a Zoom call, which usually lasts about 30 to 40 minutes. Naturally, it's always about getting to know each other at first, of course, and just like with the security audit, so that I can assess where your company stands, where your business is at, where I can provide feedback. But the email course is, of course, a very special product. Here, I give you an insight into how these hacking attacks actually work. how you can protect yourself against them, how you can set up your company and train your employees so that they don't click on phishing emails, don't fall for AI scams, and don't get tricked by deepfake calls. And everything else that's discussed under the topics of malware and ransomware. The course lasts 14 days. I've also made a video about it on my product planning page. Feel free to check it out. Yes, those are the things I wanted to present here, or rather have already presented. And finally, I just want to say that I'm currently in the process of writing my new book. I've already decided on a title for it in advance, but it's possible that it might change again. It's about several stories based on true events where hackers attack companies and what you should know so you can protect yourself from hackers. It will be a mix between a novel and a guidebook. Maybe you know the book Blackout by Mark Ellsberg. That's heading a bit in the right direction. He has also given several interviews and has been more present in seminars, active or on the road, so to speak, to answer questions about cybersecurity. And that's my goal as well. I don't want to write a bestseller, God forbid, no. For me, it's really about sharing my expertise and showing people, hey, she really does know how hackers operate, how cyber criminals work, and how they hack companies. The thing is, many people always think, oh yeah, it's all so easy. Employees just click on phishing emails and that's it. And all computer operating systems are identified. No, that's not how it works. Hackers are very sophisticated. They usually have a really emotional background. I've also seen several documentaries about this. It's truly very clever and intelligent the way these hackers think. And it's also pretty amazing, I have to say, what they're able to program and how they get companies and employees to click on phishing emails or attachments. Well, that's what you can expect on my blog, and of course, you'll continue to find it regularly. Articles on the topic of cyber news, but also on current events in 2026, real incidents like the cyber attack on the airport in September. I think that was in Amsterdam, I'm not exactly sure. In any case, I wrote an article about it. That was also about the topic of ransomware, where cybercriminals blackmailed this airport and numerous flights had to be cancelled because the entire system was paralyzed. Yes, and that was really well received. I shared the article on LinkedIn, and I think it's great when you tell real stories that you were somehow involved in or that you somehow heard about. In this case, it was like this. My mother had already told me weeks before that she had heard something from a clairvoyant. And I said, oh, not that again. I don't want to hear about it. No, it's about cybercrime. She supposedly predicted it, and then I kept looking into it more and more. And then in September, it actually turned out that the news reported this cyber attack on the airport. Exactly. So there will definitely be new articles regularly. There will be new podcast episodes. And in 2026, there will also be new YouTube videos from me. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoy my blog.